Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Nüvida, Let's Talk. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Nüvida, Let's Talk, episode 8. Today we're honored to have Victor Carranza. For those of you who don't know you, do you want to give a little brief bio about yourself, Victor?
Yeah, I'm Victor Carranza. I'm a graduate student at Western University. I'm in biomedical engineering. I'm in my last year of my PhD right now. Yeah.
That's a good way to start it, but so what do you do in your free time?
I do a lot. I do a lot of hiking, fishing. I like camping. I love the outdoors, just doing outdoor stuff. I'm a fitness trainer too, so I like working out, being healthy, things like that. Yeah.
Did you find that like with what you went to school with kind of enhanced your lifestyle now? Like that's why you're so outside all the time, or what?
I in a way, yeah, because like I use the outdoors more of like a stress relief. It's more like I just enjoy nature. I enjoy like hearing the birds and like things like that. You know what I mean? So like that just helps de-stress me from like school stuff. So yeah, it did in a way kind of push me towards that lifestyle.
Have you always been like that from like the beginning, from being young, or like?
Yeah, like I've always liked camping and like stuff like that, but like hiking itself and like doing things like that, I never really was into it until I got to Moan. That kind of helped me bring into it, and then yeah, just being outdoors, like looking at the stars, going like back camping, stuff like that. It's just.
And Timon is his dog. We'll add a picture.
Yeah, Timon's my little dog.
Okay, how long you have to mow for so far?
Oh, how long has it been? Probably like 8 months.
Okay, and how's that changed your life? Like, what like?
It's giving me more active. So he's a German Shepherd poodle.
Okay.
So like he's just an active man. Like he's just he needs walks. He needs exercise daily. So like we do like 3-4K a day kind of thing, and then on weekends we try to do like 10-15K hikes. So like he's keeping me active. Yeah. It's kind of like the accountability kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Like now you have someone to watch
like I have to
and
go.
take care
Yeah,
of. Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
I kind of want to bring it back now to like I guess what you're doing in regards to like school. So right now you're getting your PhD, right? For biomechanical engineering.
Yeah.
Like how's that been, like that process from like the beginning of university till now?
Yeah, it's been different. So like I didn't go to school wanting to do a PhD. I went to school originally. I was gonna do nursing originally, and then in grade 13 I kind of had this like flash of like I want to do engineering. So like I went into mechanical engineering. I did my undergrad in mechanical engineering. The original plan was to kind of do something with civil because I've always thought like bridges or buildings would be pretty sweet. But then like I did an undergrad thesis in biomedical engineering, and I really enjoyed doing that. But then after that I went to go work for a couple of years at a bearing manufacturing company. I didn't really enjoy it that well, but I really loved the research side. So like that's when I decided to go back to do my master's in biomedical engineering. I did 1 year of my master's, and then I switched into my PhD.
Did you find like you were more like, because you said you worked at this place, what was like the thing you didn't like about working there, or like the experience out of it?
Yeah, I really wasn't too passionate about the products that we're making. I mean, it was a pretty cool job. So they were manufacturing bearings for main shaft engines for aircrafts, which is pretty sweet. And like I learned a lot from that job, which is amazing. I just didn't have that drive and that passion, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And like that's what I'm looking for specifically. So I've always liked health. I've always liked research. So I thought like maybe a graduate program in biomedical engineering would be perfect. And like it's amazing so far.
Yeah, because it kind of encompassed like that nurse lifestyle that you kind of wanted, but then
Exactly.
also that engineering lifestyle, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So like, true or false? Like you've acquired probably more than like $100,000 in scholarship, academic scholarships.
Yeah, I have.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird to like look back at my CV and like look at all like the publications that I have and the scholarships and things like that. Yeah.
The way I look at it, it's like Western kind of want to keep you as a student. You know what I mean? That's why they give you these like big scholarships. Or like you get national scholarships too, though, from like Canada, right?
So you applied to national scholarships. So I was a recipient of the NSERC. So that's a National Science and Engineering.
How hard is it to get that, or like how many people get it?
There's a full breakdown online. They divide it up based off of universities that are able to sort of provide students with this opportunity. So yeah, I was one of the people who was able to get it at Western. So I got funded for 3 years with them.
What percentage of students who apply get it?
That's a good question. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I don't
Pretty
know
prestigious
what
though,
the
you would
percentage
say?
is. Yeah, it's a pretty good scholarship to get.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And that's even too, yeah. Like
I feel like a lot of students don't know that they can apply for these sort of scholarships You know what I mean? If they keep on grinding. So like, were these scholarships like based on like the percentage? Like for example, if you maintain more than 80%, like how do these scholarships work? Or is it networking?
So it depends on the scholarship that you're applying for, but most of them you'd have to do sort of a written proposal of what your research is going to be like, and then you would submit your CV. So they would look at all the publications that you have, things like that, and then base it off of academia and your writing kind of thing. So it's based off of different levels, and each scholarship has different criteria.
Makes sense. How did you feel it was ever kind of like political in the essence of like who you know, who's kind of vouch for you in a way?
For scholarships, no, because like some of the scholarships it's almost like a blind review, so like they don't even know what your name is, or they just get your research proposal and like they base it off of that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not, you never had to feel like it's like you needed to network, right? To like kind of get
for the scholarships, no, but like for actual research work, yes, like 100%. There's a lot that you can do with collaborating with like different universities or different research groups. And collaboration in like grad school is the biggest thing, because like that's how good research comes out. I mean, if you, for example, like for me, if I have my mechanical engineering mind, but then if I'm able to collaborate with like a cell scientist, they can bring their perspective, I can bring my perspective, and then we're able to create a product or a solution that is we combine together to get something better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you've done that with like different universities yourself?
Yeah, I've collaborated with U of T. There's a lot of different research groups that we collaborate within Western as well. So like imaging, things like that. So I mean, yeah, collaboration is key for grad school.
So I guess like what exactly is your thesis? Like what are you working on right now to complete your PhD?
Yeah, so I'm in biomedical engineering. I focus on a surgical procedure called HTO. So it's high tibial osteotomy. So it's essentially to fix. What this surgery does is to alleviate pain. People who have medial osteoarthritis, so pain on like the inside of the knee. So basically, what osteoarthritis is that they have degeneration of the cartilage. So if you think about like the knee joint, for example, you have your femur and your tibia and your femur right here. To protect bone-on-bone contact, they have what's called articular cartilage. There's meniscus. There's other different portions here, but you can sort of think of it as like a rubbery sort of filament that protects the bone. So over time, as you get older, or if you're overweight, whatever the case is, you can get osteoarthritis, and that's when that rubber just kind of breaks off and you get bone-on-bone contact, and that is very, very painful for people who have that. There's a couple different ways you can develop osteoarthritis. It's either like genetically, you can get it as you get older. So as the aging population, the older we get, the more prone we are to get osteoarthritis. Things like being overweight, that's probably one of the biggest factors in America and like Canada right now. In the knee joint, naturally you get about 60% of your load on the inside of the knee and then 40% on the outside of the knee. If you're overweight or if you're heavier, more of the load is going on the inside of the knee, and that just essentially causes the inside of the knee to come like this, and then that's when sort of that cartilage breaks off, and it just hurts a lot for the patient.
Is that a factor to like people who get bow-legged?
So you could be born with bow-leggedness, or you can develop bow-leggedness because of that excess load that's going on the inside. It just causes that collapse on the inside of the knee. Okay. Yeah. So what this surgery does is that it fixes, or it doesn't fix that. It alleviates the pain from it. So essentially, it's a pretty crazy surgery if you actually go see it. They make a cut in the tibia. So if you imagine here, imagine my leg being bow-legged like this.
Okay.
They make a cut at an angle at the tibia. So they make a cut this way, coming all the way to the lateral side. They leave a little portion on the lateral side as a hinge, and then they actually open up the tibia. So they leave almost a gap on the inside of the knee. And the idea for that is like, if my leg's like this, they create that opening, my leg is now like that. So instead of getting almost like 80% on the inside of the knee, or whatever the case is with that misalignment, it fixes that. So you go back to that 60-40, or sometimes to do like a 50-50 distribution. So less load on the inside means less pain.
Okay. I remember you did bring up a comment, like we were talking like behind the scenes. You said that like the bones have a different type, or that area has a different property, how it kind of builds itself up.
Yeah, bone itself is a pretty cool material itself, because it's not like concrete or steel. Like if you load it or if it breaks, whatever the case is, that's just what it is. with bone, it has the ability to get stronger the more that you load it. So like working out or going on hikes or walks or whatever, that's just amazing for your bones because your bones literally just get stronger. The more that you're able to load it, the more you're able to work out again, walks, hikes, whatever the case is, just physically putting your body through these processes. That 100% helps. And actually I read this thing earlier on astronauts who go to space.
Okay.
And they actually have an issue that when they're in space, there's no gravity there, right? So basically, you're not actually loading your bones or your joints or whatever the case is. So when they come back to Earth, it's very hard for them to walk, and they have to take time to learn how to walk again.
That's crazy.
And they have to take time to be careful when they're doing things because they're prone to fractures. They're prone to their joints dislocating just because it's not strong enough because they haven't loaded it.
How long are they out there for? Like 6 months or like a year?
Yeah, 6 months to a year.
That's crazy.
The article that I read or the video that I saw, was the person was 2 years, and then like they got out of the spacecraft and like people had to hold them up because like they just collapsed because like
It's like us
they
after the
lost the
marathon.
muscle. Yeah, literally.
Well, that's a good thing. So like kind of teeing off into that. So like you also have like an affinity for space, like something you really do like, or
Yeah, space is. I've always found space fascinating. It's just I think it's one of those things that like, there's a lot of questions that are unanswered, and like I don't know if we'll ever get the answers for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that just excites me.
I guess it's like open question like do you think humans need to explore like what is space and why? Why or why not, you know?
Do they need to? Yeah, I mean, if we want to be an advanced civilization, I think we have to, kind of thing, right? Like, if we don't, we're kind of just like apes on a rocky planet that are just kind of floating around.
yeah.
Right? If we want to be an advanced civilization, I think we have to.
Would you think the next move would be to do like would Elon likes this Neuralink, right? Like, are you a fan of the idea of like kind of taking the next step and going into transhumanism, I guess, with the
Like Neuralink.
technology?
Like I never have a problem with advancing technology, and I mean there's a lot of iterations of things and like how things if it's gonna work, if it's not gonna work, but by exploring these different technologies, we're able to advance civilization. So yeah, like Neuralink would be pretty sweet.
Would you do it?
I think I would. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't think I'd be hesitant to do
I have a fear of doing it, and I think my fear is like I don't want to be like the first person to do it kind of thing, and sometimes you
No
kind
one
of have
wants
to
to be the first person.
But like
to do it.
also too, what if you're the first person and it works? You know what I mean?
I know,
Like,
but
that's the kind of
let's
crazy
be
part.
the fifth. Like wait until it all goes good.
And that's kind of my thought. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually going to be in our lifetime, right? Because like we're approaching 30, right? So what? Let's say
Right
30.
now, he said in the next 10 years,
I think
or
it
5
will.
to 10 years, he wants it to be like addressed to like patients like who, with like neurological disease, like this,
Yeah.
who can't
Yeah,
walk and stuff like
exactly,
that, who have dementia, and like he wants to like work on that population for the next 5-10 years. So until we can experience it as like a population like every day,
Where it's
I think it's gonna
commercial.
be like 15 years maybe. You know what I mean? Until it's perfected to the everyday.
Yeah, where it's a commercial.
Yeah, like around that age where like we would probably want.
But like I think it could be in
Before-
our lifetime.
yeah,
I think.
I don't think I'll do it unless
It'll be
like,
the new cell
something
phone,
goes
right?
wrong.
Yeah.
It'd be the new cell phone, right? Because
Well,
remember,
and like just the way technology evolves throughout the years is just insane. Like imagine like 10 years ago we're using like CDs and like
so crazy.
it was
Now
just
we're
and like
streaming.
now everything's on your phone. Like we're streaming right now. Like it's insane how technology grows, and I don't think we're able to realize that.
Yeah.
Like the internet got invented when, like 100 years ago?
Yeah, if that.
If that,
Yeah.
not even.
Not even.
Well, it's even too, if you look at the integration of our lives, like within the last 30 years, we're way further
Actually, if you
ahead.
think about the internet, some debate that back in the day, that's how they built the pyramids in Egypt.
What do you
Like, they
mean?
were smart enough to communicate, like,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I could, well, like
in
even,
that depth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt there's aliens. Like mathematically, there's a higher chance. Sorry, there's a higher chance that there is aliens.
then there's not.
If there's no aliens, that's like rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were, like, I remember this as a little kid, my uncle used to always tell me that, like, there's this one place, I forget where it is, but it's a quarry, right?
Mhm.
And they used to cut rocks out of the wall, so like a flat wall like this, they were able to cut a hole this way, this way, this way, and this way, and then behind it.
Yeah.
And these are massive blocks, and it's
Yeah.
like, how could they do it, right? And these are perfectly cut blocks, so it's like, there has to be something that we don't know about that's that's there.
So that's the
essentially.
scary thing, right? Like
Yeah.
humans have only been on Earth for what, like less than 1% of what Earth's life is,
Yeah.
and like there could have been an advanced civilization that we just don't know about,
Yeah.
and it'd be pretty hard for us to tell. Like I think like yeah, like with the pyramids, like there was this thing that I read that the pyramids are actually used as like as an energy source. So the way that the pyramid is designed and like all the interchannels of it, they all point towards it harvesting energy from the sun. So the way that they do that is there was like a gold pyramid at the top, and gold is very good at for conducting electricity.
Yeah.
So when essentially the idea was that they're positioned in such a way that they can get as much energy from the sun, and they use that energy to power lights and to power tools or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's actually crazy to think about. They're more advanced than like that we think about, right? And like that's a very green way of harvesting energy instead of like burning
The
coal
correct way.
or
We're
gas.
doing it very greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's
also
more
too,
money, you know. It's like that's what drives politics nowadays. And
A
stuff.
lot of thing is too is there's a lot more of us, right? And we're more integrated between each other's lives. Where it's like
Yeah,
now
exactly.
we're bartering.
Because we can
we're bartering.
communicate through social media, the internet now. Like we actually can communicate in these groups online
Yeah.
that have an impact in the real world. You know what I mean?
Well, it's also too.
Well, they
now-
didn't have that before.
Yeah, well, the big thing is now we can share our thoughts and our ideas, right? Before
exactly.
it's like you had to write in a scripture, the scripture would get passed on to this person would read it, then a lot of our stories were told by us talking.
Talking about
Now-
saving ideas, Elon Musk buying Twitter, saving freedom of speech.
I think so. I think, but it's also like it's a Wild West.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You know, like I think it's, and the only
No.
reason I say it's a Wild West is because maybe we've been so used to a structure of how things are
Yeah,
run,
maybe
right?
maybe it's shocking
Yeah,
to see it
maybe. Right?
now because we've only seen one side. Yeah.
Right? And now it's like, okay, guess what?
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can't talk about anymore.
Yeah, it's just like don't break the law, like Elon says. Just don't break the law.
Okay, I got a good question for you.
Be
So-
respectful of the law.
Good question
You know?
for you. So, like, if let's say you were to have all the funding and all the research, like people yourself, like given all the research, what would you?
Give me my money value. How much?
What would you? No, that's I don't know. Like, I'll give you $1 billion. What would you? what would be the project or mission that you'd want to focus on, to kind of fix or innovate?
Yeah, I think tackling osteoarthritis, I think would probably be the biggest for me, just because like that's a huge thing. I think if we're able to either be able to cure osteoarthritis or find a way to mitigate it, I think that'd just be huge for human civilization. Also, maybe combining something with space would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll
Figuring out how the people like the astronauts that come back, they're not as messed up. Maybe
Yeah.
that would be.
Well, like
That'd be
there's a
interesting.
couple ways that like they do it. So like they create what's called like artificial gravity.
Okay.
So like when they're like on the spacecraft, for example, they like would spin the spacecraft around, and essentially that just causes centrifugal forces. So like whenever you have any rotation, there's a force pushing you down, and that creates artificial gravity. It's like that's one way they can do it. There's also I was reading there a couple ways that like they put them in like this little like chamber kind of thing, and like they rotate that, and like they have to stay there for like 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever it is, and essentially that just loads the bones as if there was gravity.
I never knew that. That's actually really crazy.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say,
pretty
like with like your thesis and stuff, and like focusing on like the problem. Like, is that what made you want to become like a fitness trainer?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like definitely learning about arthritis and like seeing that was just huge for me. So like that definitely wanted to push me to become a trainer.
How long have you been a trainer for?
I've been a trainer for 2.5 years now, I think. Yeah,
It's crazy.
2.5
And
years
how
now.
has that like I guess changed you?
Yeah, it's just I have a different mindset with working out, I guess. Like before when I was younger, it was more of like ego lifting. So like you'd want to do like bench as much as you can or squat as much as you can. Now it's more like I think of it as like, no, I'm just improving my body. Like I don't have to bench the most out of everyone here, as long as like I'm improving myself and I'm bloating myself. That's all that matters to me.
I found that too. Like me and Ricardo, we've been doing Muay Thai for like 2 months now, and I found that it's like three almost. Well, we're going into the 3rd month, I think, right? We started March, but I found it's crazy because like I used to always want to be like the biggest lifter. I don't care to lift weights heavy anymore.
Yeah.
Because like for me, it's like I used to want to be the biggest guy around, but I think now I want to be the most agile.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You know, I want to be like functional muscle. Like I actually want to be. Let's climb a tree. Okay, I can do that, no problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Climb a tree.
No, but
Go
like-
get me an orange. Go get
Yeah, like literally, I just run up the hill. Okay, sure. I'd rather be able to do all that versus like just being a a blob.
No, exactly. And like,
You'll be more mobile.
Yeah, exactly.
and like when I'm like 75, 80, like I want to be going on hikes still. Like I don't want to be sore at home and I can't do anything because I haven't been doing anything my whole life. It's like I want to have this active lifestyle. So like when I'm 80, 90, I'm still going on hikes with a dog.
How important has your diet been in that?
Diet's been really important. It's like 80% of you trying to lose weight is diet. And then the rest of it comes from the, and even if you're trying to gain muscle, like 80% of it is what you're eating. So like that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing for me. Is like my diet has changed completely. I'm like a big snacker with like pizza and chips and like stuff like that. All the processed food that is all bad for you. But then like so like being in grad school, working at the gym, I kind of have this mindset of like I want to eat healthier. So like basically I have almost like a meat diet with like some fruits in there and like just consciously trying to eat better. So like,
how did you find this diet? Because like I've honestly wanted to try the meat diet, like the carnivore diet.
Yeah,
they
the
call
carnivore
it.
diet.
What's your thoughts on it? Like,
I think it depends on the person. I think diets are very person specific. Like it might work for one person, it might not work for others. So I think just like being able, I guess this is more of my science mind. Like it's more like an experiment on myself to see how my body reacts. Of if I have this, like how do I feel? How does my body react? Kind of thing. So I've kind of just been basing it off of that.
But would you say it's not just diet? Like you have to do both physical activity and
You
diet?
have to do both.
Like you have to do both, right?
Yeah.
And
like,
like,
if you're trying to lose weight or gain muscle, most of it comes from what you're eating. I mean, you need a building block, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, if you're trying to build muscle, you need the protein for you to build muscle. If you don't eat enough protein, you're never going to build muscle, no matter how hard you work at the gym.
Yeah.
Right, so a lot of it has to do with diet, but yes, you gotta put the time in the gym. Especially like I said before, especially for joint health and your bone health.
Yeah.
That's
In
where
your
the
heart,
exercise
your
is in your heart.
cardiovascular,
Exactly.
everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like both come into play. Both are equally as important, I would say.
Yeah.
I want to ask this: how do you feel physically now? Let's say you compare yourself into high school. Your
I feel
university
good
days.
now.
Do you
Yeah.
think you're
You look
better?
amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do you think
I'm being serious.
But like, I can kind of like, maybe this will test all of us. Like, do you guys not feel that we're physically better at this age than we were like all those years before? Just because we're
I
kind
feel
of
like
more conscious
I feel
about
like
it?
I'm slowly getting back to it, like you know what I mean, and like I feel stronger because like naturally we are stronger. The the older we get, we are stronger.
exactly.
Like, oh wow, young technically, like LeBron's still dunking. Like who's to say that we're not gonna get stronger? You know what I mean? But like I feel like I'm finally testing those limits, and that's something that I feel like I was lazy before. You know what I mean? Like I'm finally testing those limits. Okay, like what can I do today? Like I want to use that all up now. You know what I mean? Like Victor said, like so that later in life, I'm mobile, I'm stretching. Like I'm not doing the maximum bench, maximum squat, fuck all that.
But I still
like,
can do it.
Huh?
Like you still can do it at
I don't
that age,
fucking
right?
care. I just don't fucking care. It's like for me, it's more like the Muay Thai, the boxing, the limb, like you know what I mean, like the running the marathon, like the
And, like, you
jumping,
actually-
the push-ups,
Exactly.
the squats, the stretching, the
Like
the
you
yoga.
feel better like when you wake up.
100%.
Or,
Yo,
like,
you sleep better. You digest better.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's
Like you have no
insane.
more like if you guys eat chips at late at night, you know what it's like to have the heartburn.
Yeah.
You don't have none of that. You don't have none of that anymore.
I think my favorite part is like just waking up because like I've noticed my routine. Let's say I get up at 6 because like I slept in whatever, and then I go to work, get ready for work. I'm so much slower with getting my day ready, like making my breakfast, making my coffee, packing my backpack. It takes me an extra half an hour. Versus if I get up at 4:30, go to the gym at 5, crush a good workout, come home, everything is just rapid. It's just like
You're just in there,
yeah, you're just in the zone. So like
exactly.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, so like to hop onto a lot of things that you're doing nowadays, like how do you manage all that and balance your time? Because you also own a business as well, so I want to really touch into that because a lot of our audience is like very business oriented.
Yeah.
Because like you are like a business CEO and a business owner, you know what I mean? So like being like a PhD student, also being a fitness trainer, and that how do you balance your time and then touch?
Yeah, like I basically just schedule everything on like Apple calendars. Like I have everything scheduled, like when I'm taking my dog on a walk kind of thing, like when I work, when I'm gonna work out, when I'm gonna be in the lab, like I schedule time. So for like
How far ahead do you do that? Because a lot of us have trouble.
I
like,
do it,
like
yeah,
you
like
know?
it depends on what it is. I try to do it like on like the Sunday kind of thing, and then I plan out the whole week.
Just 1 week.
Yeah, I just do the week. If it's like for my PhD, then I have the actual like 6-7 months planned out.
Yeah.
Of like when I'm gonna do stuff, and like plans can change, but like having a plan and like sticking with it, that's what I think is important.
Yeah.
And like not focusing on like the little stuff that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like with like the cleaning company, for example, I'm not gonna waste my time trying to like completely try to understand like our scheduling system. Like it's more of like delegating. It's like, okay, like you can take this on. If you need help, I can help you, kind of thing. So like delegating the tasks and like focusing on stuff that you don't know, focusing on stuff that you need to learn right at that time, and like that's kind of how.
What
how
taught
I
you that?
I think it was like university. Like I was always very OCD when I was in like high school. I used to like handwrite all of my notes, and like if there was like, I don't know, if like I messed up the word, like I would literally like take a whole new page and rewrite it. And because I would write stuff in pen, because like I didn't like the way pencil looked like.
Yeah.
So like if I accidentally like bent the page, I would literally grab a brand new page and rewrite the entire note.
No way.
It was I did that all in high school.
He was so organized.
How
How
do
do
you
you
feel
feel
about
about
that
that
now?
I was like super OCD with it. So like that affected me in like first year, because like you can't do that in first year engineering.
You're too slow.
Right.
You're too
So
slow.
I kind of had to
Explain that
force to
shock
learn.
in first year.
Yeah, it was shocking because like in high school I had like 90, 95 averages, and like first year engineering, my chemistry course I got like 50 or 55. I barely passed it, and like that was just super shocking to me, like both with like my mental health and like physical health too. Like I stopped caring. I started eating more chips and like stuff like that, because I'm very food makes me happy. It's like whenever I have like food, it just
Fat boy life.
I'm happy, right?
Yeah,
And like that's a bad way of doing it. Like I realize that now, that like that's a very bad thing to do.
Yeah.
But like my outlet was eating.
Yeah.
So like in like first year, second year university, I just let go of everything. So more like third or fourth year, I kind of like started getting my health back, and like I focused more on, so like instead of like if the professor's there, going through the whole lecture, I'm not writing everything he says down. It's more of, oh, like I did not know that, or I didn't think of it that way, and like that's what I would write down. So I wouldn't write down things that I would know. I write down things that I didn't know, or stuff that I need to learn more about, kind of thing.
It's a learning process.
It's a learning process.
So let's say you were to talk to young Victor right now. What would you tell them? 3 things.
3 things I would
Three
tell
things.
you.
Three
Victor.
things.
Yeah, like that. You just
Prioritize yourself over anything. Prioritize yourself. Don't stress about the little things, and then just enjoy life. That's what I would say.
Yeah. How do you enjoy life then? Like especially with all this stuff you're doing. Like
Yeah,
how do you
focus
manage
on
it?
like the little, like right now, like I focus on like the little things that make me happy. Like for example, like when I wake up to have breakfast, I would like purposely try to make the plate look good. Like I'd have my eggs like organized here, and like my bacon kind of thing, and my yogurt. It's like I would organize it, and like that makes me happy. Like
No, but
so,
that's
like,
what life's about.
that's what life's about. Like taking the little things and like making the best out of it. So like that's where like my kind of, I still have my OCD kind of thing, and like I more redirected it for like something that's like my plate, and like something that's small, like that satisfies my OCD.
Like your weakness, you've learned to manage and become
Exactly.
strength now, right?
Exactly.
That's cool. That's super cool.
That's crazy.
And like it does take a while to learn that, and like it's about being fluid and like being able to adapt and like change yourself. Like it might not work a month from now, kind of thing. I might have to focus on something else, but it's always important to be able to adapt to whatever.
And that's the thing, like I feel like no matter what age you are, like whether you be like throughout life, you always have to adapt and always be willing to learn. It's always
Yeah,
a learning
exactly.
process. It's never like a stagnant thing. You know what I mean? Because that's the problem. You stay stagnant, like it's an issue.
Yeah, you get slow.
Because we're humans. We're moving energy. You have to be in motion.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Anybody you kind of look up to and like as like motivation to kind of do stuff, or
Probably my dad, because like he's always just grinding.
Yeah.
He's always there, just like looking out for the family, and like working as hard as he can. That's probably like the biggest motivation I know for us.
Yeah.
Like it's like this. He was, I would say he's the biggest, because he's a very family guy. He's a very loving guy, and like he works hard for whatever he wants, and like that's kind of the lifestyle that
you
I
guys
like.
do represent a lot of that. I can say that. Growing up with you guys, like definitely
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, we did have a couple questions by our guests, so I might as well ask you, so they don't think we just ask for no reason.
yeah.
I know one was, it's like, oh god, let me just actually pull it up. They were just really wondering, like, why did you pursue this education? I know you said nursing, but like, what really was it like?
Yeah, I didn't purposely like seek it out. Like it was very weird. Like so I did. Yeah, so like I said, I wanted to do civil engineering, so that's the whole reason why I did engineering itself. And then I didn't really like it in first year, so I did mechanical engineering, because like I've always liked cars, and like I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do something with cars. So like all like second year, third year, that's what I thought I was going to be going into like the automotive field. And then 4th year, there was like an email that I got saying that there's an undergrad thesis that you can do. It has to do with HTO and like bones and the tibia. So I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. Like, might as well try it out. So like, I met with the professor, and then I did the undergrad thesis with him, and that's where like my mind opened up to biomedical engineering. And like, yeah, it's like I didn't really plan it out. I kind of just took life though, like whatever life gave me, and like analyzed like what are my choices and like pick the one that like I think is best for me at that time.
That's because you kept on looking though.
And I kept looking. Like that's the thing. Like you can't stop and stay stagnant and like not look for opportunities.
Important.
It's important to like seek it out and like what opportunities you have and like kind of pick that way. It's like for like the job that I got after undergrad, I did that by going to a job fair at Western.
Was that at FEG?
Yeah, it was at FAG Aerospace. Yeah, like it was a job fair at Western, and like I wasn't gonna go, and like I don't know, like it was like I can't remember. I think it was like January, February of my 4th year. I went to this job fair and I spoke with this guy. Like he went to Western as well, and like we kind of just hit it off, and like he sent my resume to his manager, and like I got the job that way. It's like I only applied to one job in my undergrad, and like I got it.
I feel like
And,
that job
but,
taught you a lot of positive things though, because
exactly.
like I feel like you grew a lot from that job, not
Oh,
only
I
as
grew a lot
as
from
like a business partner, as a brother. You know, I feel like you grew so much from that job.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all about networking, putting yourself out there, looking for the best for you, and then like making your choices that way.
I found that's a really big thing. It's like things we're scared of sometimes are the best things for us. Like you should never be worried to like if like sometimes we get in our own heads and we're like, I don't want to go do that interview. I don't know if I'm gonna do well. You might as well just do it and then see what happens, right? Like,
I was listening to this one thing. I'm not gonna mess up the name. I forget, but like it was talking about the subconscious, and it was talking about how you have to like tell yourself like I'm gonna get this done. If you keep on telling yourself I'm gonna try and get this done, I'm gonna try and do this, then you're automatically telling your subconscious it's a try. So you'll be like in the background, you'll be satisfied with just a try. But if you tell yourself I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna like positive things, keep on feeding yourself that, then like your subconscious will naturally look for things that are just more positive, and you'll naturally be looking for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like very like psychological. It's very psychological. It's crazy.
The mind's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Like the mind is insane.
And like the subconscious is more. It's more likely to grab and reach negative things. If you feed it negative things, it's like, yes, I like that. I like that. If you have positive things, it'll reject it. The more you give it positive things, the more likely it'll grab that positive thing. That means that every day you have to like just try to be positive. I know days are rough. Trust me, I know days are rough sometimes. Like, trust me, out of all people. But like you have to like continue to try to be positive. You know, like be grateful for the little things. You know,
Exactly.
I'm grateful for my fiance. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for everything. You know, for the team. You guys, like it's crazy. Like you have to be grateful for those things.
And I found with me personally, I found this experience through running, where I was able, my body's given out, and it's like you can just walk. And I told my body like, how we shut up? Like the body's not running it. The mind is. The mind is way stronger than the body, and that's what I've learned. It's like you can tell yourself I want to quit, but you just don't quit. Just keep going. It'll stop when you make it stop, and the mind is the one running the show. Yeah. And that's how I learned that how crazy your body is.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
Well, any other questions from the audience?
Yeah, we had one, but I feel
I know Mark
touched on
how do you
He was talking about the Mark wanted to know. It was, I remember off the top of my head, it was $1 million. So to make $1 million, it takes
it's just crazy. Like I don't think people understand the difference between $1 million and $1 billion. Right? Like $1 million is like equivalent to like 11 and a half days. Like what do you think $1 billion is?
Well, I might know it's what 30.
It's like 31 years.
Okay.
So like $1 million to $1 billion is just insane. So like, and people don't understand. So like even like with Elon buying Twitter for what was it?
$44
billion. Like that is an astronomical amount of money.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. And like even like think about like distances between like planets or like solar systems and universes is insane. Like,
insane.
We're literally just like a
speck
of dust that's just in the universe. Yeah. Like if Earth or even the solar system were to disappear, like
would you? This is a good question actually. Would you? You know how they did Blue Origin? I think it is. Yeah. Would you do one space trip like that, like to reach like the?
Yeah, like I think a trip like that.
Definitely would. This guy would be in line first.
Yeah, and like even like I think being an astronaut would be sick. To be honest.
You'd be qualified enough.
Yeah,
I honestly think
but
you
we'll
do.
see.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, last question. What would be 3 things that you would say to a young entrepreneur or a young person, like, you know, like trying to figure out like what the purpose is, like through your experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess like figure out what you're passionate about. I think that's the biggest thing. Like for me, like I like a lot of things. Like I think that's why I struggle picking like one thing that I really like. So that's why I approach life in the sense that like what opportunities it gives me, like what I like at that time. But if you're able to find something that you're super passionate about, like go for it, pursue it. Stay healthy and like focus on you. So like know what your body limits are, know what your mental limits are. Like mental health is like the biggest thing that people don't focus on. And like I think it's harder for guys to even like talk about mental health too.
100%.
So like focus on you and like focus on making yourself better. Know what's good for you, know what's bad for you. And then one more. Just be happy, just enjoy life. Just literally just be happy.
Yeah.
Like find the little things that make you happy, whether it's like the breakfast that you make yourself in the
Yeah,
morning
yeah.
or like
Walking the
dog or like the bird that just flew, and just like little things
or
should
drawing, listening to music.
drawing, whatever it is. Because
Whatever.
like if you purposely try to make yourself happy, then you'll just be a happy person.
Yeah.
I think it's that passion. Going back to like just find your passion.
Just find your
So,
passion. Like that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
if you have multiple passions, then like try to see how you combine it or try to, you know what I mean?
Facts.
No, I love
Yeah,
it. I think
that
that's
was
a good way to end
perfect.
it.
I think that was a good way to end it. And like, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And Victor, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
No worries.
We had to make sure you were on it because, like we've always said, like I feel like you're a rare person and people need to hear your voice because not many people like you. And I've always said that. You know what I mean?
I
So,
appreciate it. Thank you.
so no, it's a special one.
And beyond that, yo, for everyone who subscribed this week, super happy with you guys. We
Oh, yes.
appreciate it.
That
We
was
hit
crazy.
over 50.
That was
Like,
inspiring, honestly. Like that made me so happy. Made all of us happy.
exactly.
We're all
So
smiling from like cheek, like year to
cheek
year.
to year, whatever.
Year to
It's-
year.
you guys-
53 subscribers. Like I feel like I won the lottery.
literally, and you know what? It just shows it's not gonna stop. We're gonna keep coming
It's
for
gonna
you
get
guys,
bigger.
and
Yeah.
you know what? We
Exactly.
got this.
We're coming out. We got
Thank
this.
you, Victor.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no worries.
Thank
All right,
you.
guys.
Take care.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.